This video is sponsored by Gate.io. If you set an account up using the link in the description, you'll get 25% back on all your spot and futures fees for life. Gate.io. Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to talk about alt season stuff. That's right, proper alt seasons. As in like a period of time where altcoins outperform Bitcoin, something that we've not seen at least for the last week. But it's definitely coming around the corner. I'm going to show you some evidence-based reasons why we should expect that. And it's not clickbait, although I hope that you did click it because it's an exciting title, because it's an exciting time. So just to let you know, there is no absolute guarantees in trading. You all know that. But I'm going to show you something that should, well, give you a bit of food for thought. It's up to you what you do, obviously. So the first thing we think about is our Bitcoin dominance chart. I've been using the Bitcoin dominance chart throughout the entire last cycle because Bitcoin and crypto was never that big of a market. If you really wanted to make real money out of it continuously, you would also need to think about rotating from Bitcoin into altcoins and so on and so on and so on. Sometimes the market works together, sometimes things work independently. You've probably recognized this week that for the most part, Bitcoin has outperformed altcoins. And that, like, for a lot of people, especially, you know, who are new to the market, that's not what they expect. They expect altcoins to outperform everything all the time. If the market moves as one, altcoins outperform Bitcoin. That's not the case. There's lots of reasons why Bitcoin would outperform altcoins, and that's what we've seen recently. We've seen that many times in the past as well. It's it's nothing new. This area here on the dominance chart, where this little this peak that moved all the way up to the absolute most recent peak on the dominance chart, Bitcoin ran at 300%, while altcoins basically stayed static. That happened, right? Bitcoin went up 300%. And altcoins basically either trailed a little bit behind. Some of them even lost money with their USDT pairs, but most of them just basically stayed still. And then when we hit this area, the altcoins flew. They were doing 10, 20, 50 X's, you know, thousands of percent. And look, we made the most out of it. We bought we bought and stocked up Bitcoin at supports. We sold into altcoins at resistance, and you basically make the most out of the market. And this isn't unique to crypto or Bitcoin. This happens in the financial markets generally. If anyone was watching my channel, you know, last year, it was a difficult year to trade. But one of the main things that we did successfully was trade the everything bounties, these huge big swings on the S&P and obviously stocks and on crypto. So we were still able to make lots of money in the bear market by working out, you know, where are these big rotations going to be. Now, last year there was an enormous rally on things like oil, natural gas, commodities in general, and they were pumping hard. We found our way all the way up here on the peak in June 2022 for oil, peaking at $123 a barrel. That's also, by the way, where we found our low get set. June 2022, the first major everything bounce. I was telling people about this. I said, look, there's going to be a rotation out of commodities, and where's it going to go? It's going to go into stocks. You might look at this and go, oh, 19%. Well, you're trading a bear market here. You've got to take what you can get. And to be able to work out when there's a rotation from one asset class into another asset class is going to give you the ability to make money, even in a bear market, even trading spot, which is what I did. Yeah? And then we did it again. But this time round, this was a 4x rotation. And so on and so on and so on. So it's not unique to crypto, but crypto does have a very clear and crisp way to do it. And we use the Bitcoin dominance chart as one, and probably one of the main tools to do it. Like I said, in the bear market back here again, we're talking June, we got the rotation out of Bitcoin into altcoins. We did about 100 to 200% in the form of sats. So that we're turning, you know, we could turn one Bitcoin into 2 or 3 Bitcoins just throughout this period. And like I say, people didn't like the idea of that when I was telling them about it, because all they could see was red bear market, red bear market, red bear market. It's difficult for them to conceive that the S&P is even possible of going up. Never mind oil going down, and especially altcoins outperforming Bitcoin on a rally. A significant rally, to be fair, considering it was a bear market that went on for, well, I mean, went on for quite a little while, didn't it? So what I'm saying now is that we're looking to have something similar than that happen right now. Now, this was quite crisp and clear. We were in the box of significance here, a major resistance box where we did have an alt season here. We had another one here. So it seems likely that we were going to get another one while we're in this box. Now, if you go to the monthly on here, it was even more apparent that something was likely to happen because we hit the 21 exponential moving average here on the monthly. We don't have that at the moment. We don't have that. But one thing that Bitcoin dominance chart does like to do is generally, for the most part, respect Bollinger Band strategy, and this is a monthly Bollinger Band. We are at the top of it, which is also peaking in that box. So if you're thinking about scaling out of Bitcoin into altcoins, this would be the first opportunity to shave some off. It doesn't mean all of it, because we had targets, and we still have targets of 28, 32 and 38,000 for Bitcoin. And when you got targets like that, you have to expect those targets to be met. And if you're going to get a rejection from any one of these areas, this could transfer over to a rejection on the dominance chart in the purest form, which would be that money gets sold from Bitcoin and put into altcoin, or just a straight swap from Bitcoin to altcoins, that's what the nature of a rotation really would be. And if that is the case, and if that's how we're going to play the game, you would like to think about looking at Bitcoin pairs. So rather than looking at USDT pairs, which shows you, the value of, obviously Ethereum or whatever with its dollar or USDT pair, sometimes the clue is going to be found on the Bitcoin pair. So we brought up Ethereum to Bitcoin here. So what do we see? What can we see? We'll just turn off all this noise to begin with, right? And we'll just have a look at the chart. So what we can see here is a horizontal of significance. It's not neat, but there's enough confluence here on this daily. It will show with our very simple and crude line that's already drawn out here. It's also at the bottom of this symmetrical triangle, descending triangle. So there you go. So we've already tagged that and had what appears to be a reaction from here. Do we have any divergences of any form? We don't. Not on the daily, we don't. On the 4-hourly, do we have any? I expect we probably should. No, we don't. Not quite yet. So we might be looking for double bottoms or anything like that. But this area down here, it's 0.64 sats, or 0.064 sats, is an area where we might find a building block for a base. Why are we looking at Ethereum? Because Ethereum helps the dominance chart, because it's such a large market cap for altcoins that it can actually move the dominance chart on its own. What else have we got going on here? If we just turn off all this noise, well, we'll keep the noise on, to be honest with you. We do have a downtrend, a significant downtrend. We'll call it a falling channel, which looks like it's broken. When you break falling channels to the up, you're likely to have continuation. So we have a broken out here, we've come back down, and we're bouncing back out of it again. Again, without the divergence, it's difficult to say that this is going to be the one. Falling channels do often break out rather than break down. They continue down, but when they break out, they actually have a breakout. We also have a death cross on the 4-hourly that's sitting all the way up here at 0.07 sats, which would like to be retested. So there's a lot of evidence on this chart, even though we're kind of splitting hairs, to suggest that we're going to bounce up a little bit. And a bounce up a little bit might cause a powerful move across the board. We're only talking 5-6% at the moment on this chart, but it wouldn't take much for this to turn around and start to outperform. I strongly feel that this alt season is around the corner, whether it's beginning already, which I feel like might be a little early, or we're about to start to see it a bit more significantly. So that's just your Ethereum chart, and obviously we've looked at the dominance chart. Let's have a look at these two bad boys. Total market cap excluding Bitcoin, total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. What are these guys looking like? Are these guys looking okay? They are, actually. They are looking quite sweet. Excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin, the total market cap of all the other altcoins combined is above all major moving averages on the daily. It's got plenty of room to move if it were to relaunch. If it were to move and break out of this range, which has more or less been range bound, we've got a 15% rise up to just short of 450 billion, and that would be a range of its own that we're looking to break out from there. The next breakout level to break out would be all the way up here. So there's reason for small to medium caps, or basically all altcoins in general, to rise by about 62%, and that's on average. So if you break that down between the real sort of low cap coins to the top sort of tier coins, stuff like, I don't know, XRP, Chainlink, whatever's in the top 5 to 10, with big market caps. We're looking more or less overall, give or take, on balance, about a 62% rise in altcoins. That would likely be also versus their Bitcoin pairs. So you're looking to basically turn 1 Bitcoin into 1.5 Bitcoin, give or take. And this is just on average. Some of these coins that you might buy, not just because they're small caps, but because they've got good charts, especially good charts with their Bitcoin pairs, you could see 100, 200 or more % in this period that this happens. So, but on average, a 62% rise in altcoins versus Bitcoin is what we'll be looking to see. Same sort of approach can be taken with the total market cap, including Ethereum. I would say that it's basically exactly the same chart. Now, last night I was doing a Patreon live stream, which I do every Friday and on every Tuesday. I suggest you join up. There's links in the description below. And what we noticed was that most altcoins that we looked at all had the same chart setup. One of those setups that we were seeing was on a 4-hourly, waiting for a conversion baseline to cross and give us a pump signal on the Ichimoku cloud. That's one of the things we're looking at. Now, the total market caps don't have that, but many of the altcoins, I'd say probably about 80 to 90% of the altcoins we looked at yesterday had that setup. Now, one thing I remember from 2021 is that way before we actually approached that dominance chart area where we got rejected from for that huge move on the dominance chart, that massive alt season, the one that made us millions, basically. One thing that I was seeing as early as November, because this happened in January, the one thing I noticed is that many of the altcoins had been scraping these lows and they were building these signals, and they were all setting up for the same kind of signal, a signal that basically pointed to January, saying there's going to be an alt season, it's going to be good. Couple that with a major top on the dominance chart, and basically everything moved together, everything moved as one, and it created the most powerful alt season ever seen. Based on the TA of this chart. This was basically altcoins being invented. This was an alt season that was by TA, all right, and huge amounts of tidal waves of money flowing into the market. So what I was saying is that yesterday, there's lots and lots of altcoins that were brewing this setup. There were 4-hourly pump signals in the works. Some of those might complete today. Most of them should complete tomorrow, provided that the market doesn't dump or consolidate for more than about 4%, right? Overall, 4%. We want to stay within a 4% range. Ideally, stay at this kind of level or higher. But all these altcoins are going to start to get these pump signals, and then they will all move as one. And this will be a rejection that will be clearly seen on the dominance chart, and AKA an alt season. Now, to put it into context, just so you can understand, because I know that alt season is going to make people very excited, and people are probably going to have to change their underpants for all kinds of reasons when I say this. Just as I said, this alt season should yield anywhere between 50 to 100, and what we ended up getting was up to 200. You need to think about it rationally, all right? Don't target the 100 or 200% because that's what I've said. Don't target that at all. You need to scale out. This is a bullish chart on the dominance chart here. We're likely to have a rejection. This is likely to be an alt season. You're likely to make, on average, we said about 62% with your altcoins. This isn't going to be 2021. These things happen once every couple of years, to be honest with you. This is a very rare event, and they will come again. We will be able to do this sort of thing again. But it's too early on in the market to expect something like that. To expect something like this that we got in the bear market, that's more reasonable to expect that or less. And so that's what we're kind of looking for. Is it happening now, or is it going to happen a little bit higher? I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly, but on a risk to reward basis, rotating some of your Bitcoin into altcoins at this particular level based on the individual charts that you're interested in trading, not just blanket statement because alt seasons and altcoins and all altcoins are created equal. They are absolutely not created equal. Don't go just buying something with a furry face on it that's, some, I don't know what they call these things now, something like the Baby Doge Elon Moon Safe Haven Mars Master token for noobs. Don't just go buying that because it's an altcoin. Think about this. I'm trading charts based on the technical analysis. You should think about trading charts based on the technicals too. So if you're buying an altcoin that has no technical value to it, so there's nothing on the chart to suggest it's going to go up, then you know what? It's probably not going to go up. And if it doesn't go up, it's because there was nothing present on that chart that suggests it would. We're doing this. These are charts, right? Apply this chart to another chart and that chart to another chart. And then we'll work out if you think that it's okay to make that trade. Personally, there was a handful of coins that we looked at last night on the Patreon that actually did shine through as reasonably decent opportunities. And, you know, I'm going to pull the trigger on a few of these myself. I'm not going to blow my load straight away. I'm going to scale in because this is a decent box. This box is about a 2% range. And if I went all in at the bottom side of the range expecting a major rejection, it would be silly. You know, in fact, yeah, the box is almost 4%. So we've got a 4% range of rejection, possible rejection. And again, even that is not 100%. So scaling in to altcoins from a Bitcoin position, or just using some of your available tether, who cares really, is where we start. We start here. This is a first offload, whether you call it 10% or 20% or whatever. By the top of here, you know, you'll have applied a little bit more. But what could be a rejection that takes us all the way back down to 44. And look, if it gains traction, which it could, I hear rumours of money printers being turned back on to an extent. Yeah, maybe we see ourselves all the way back down at 40. And that would be a serious alt season. And that should have yielded, give or take, 62% minimum for most altcoins. Probably over 100 for many of them. Right, I will leave it with you there. It is the weekend. You can talk about the weather. We've got 9 degrees over here. But just pump my algorithm. Do you know what? I really did enjoy the very kind comments yesterday about, you know, my channel, you know, because I don't have many followers here. You know, I'm a small channel, and I'm trying to attract more, and I'm gonna have to start selling clickbait in order to lure people in, because once you're here, I'm assuming the people who have stayed, because I noticed the people who do watch my channel mostly subscribed, you know, a very high retention rate of subscribers who watch the channel regularly. There must be value here for you to keep watching, and it would appear from the comments yesterday that there is value, so I'm very grateful for all those kind comments. So hopefully, if I sell this channel with O faces, which I'm not going to do, but just horrendous clickbait, and then people watch the channel and recognise that actually there are some appropriate calls here, and it's reasonable, and it's relatively accurate, because, like I say, this is how I make my money. This is my job, basically. So I wouldn't be able to do it if I wasn't making money. So I know that the win rate is reasonable enough to sustain my life. But yeah, hopefully they will stay, and they'll move away from Moonboy Carl and all these other people who just go, oh, it's gonna go up. Oh God, it's going up 1 million. It's gonna be 1 million next week. I assume that's the sort of thing they say. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice weekend. Take it easy.